Hey guys, welcome to our weekly catch up with Peter Evans. Congratulations Pete on an hard-fought victory on Saturday, 22-20. Can I have your thoughts on the game please?
Excellent. Well, I'm happy to get the win, but the performance obviously wasn't what we wanted. A bit of a weird one really. We sort of dominated the first 20 minutes and dominated the last 20 minutes, and just the middle 40 we just weren't ourselves. Probably didn't have the best week of training, but you can see we were a bit flat. I think it was just a bit expected when you realise that everybody's going to come here and try and win, or wherever we go, we're still unbeaten, we're the top of the league. I think people are still getting used to that. So I
think you're right about that. I think that's what we've got to expect now from now on. Every game's going to throw everything. Every team's going to throw everything at us.
Yeah, and to be fair, we knew it was coming, and I knew we spoke to other teams that we've played, and they all said the same thing. Blackburn are strong, they're physical, you play their style of rugby, it's a long afternoon, and we got sucked in. The first 20 minutes I thought we were quick, but we lacked that accuracy that we've had the previous few weeks when we've won games. And then at the middle 20 minutes, the middle 40 minutes, we just sort of fell asleep and lost that intensity in defence, and then everyone started doing individual stuff. You know, turnover ball, that's when we're most dangerous. Most teams are dangerous there, but we're particularly dangerous on turnover ball. Yeah, people were just picking the ball up, running themselves, getting turned over. Support play wasn't up to scratch, and I think we got frustrated by the referee as well, which we can impact ourselves. You know, people can blame officiating all they want, but you can have a big impact on that by being as positive as you can.
The referee can only, like you just says there, you can say the referee had faults, but if we stick to our game plan, the referee doesn't have the options to have them faults.
Obviously, you can have an impact on it, but you can sway him by being positive. But we got dragged into an arm wrestle, and that's not us.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that's not us. I think we can do it a lot better than we used to. Obviously, we've won games this season when we've been dragged into them, but we've got to try and, when we can, play the way we want to play. And Saturday wasn't the case.
Was that something to do with having the extra week off, or was it just...
I think the week off was needed for the bodies, but the mind at the same time. People were very relaxed going into the game, which isn't a bad thing, but you need to be switched on to have a physical battle.
I did notice as well though, we didn't have a great deal of numbers down for training. We only had like 30s down, where normally we'd have had a lot more, with this flow kicking about.
Well, there's a bit of everything, that we've still got lads that are sick and stuff, but I keep saying it every week, and it's not something we like to harp on about and use as an excuse, but you see the second team, we're stretched at the minute, another couple of injuries to key players. I said the same thing on Saturday. Sam Wilson came in, and I don't want to use the term sort of third choice, but we've had two other nines that have started before him, and he came in, and most people are like the third nine, and we've had so many injuries to key players as well. You think we've got people like Danny, Sean and Joe that are out for the season. They'd get any team in this league.
Yeah.
And then you add to that other short-term knocks to people like Dom.
Well, even Dano would, and
like Connor Foley, Dano, and it goes on and on, and you think there's some of the players that have moved out the area that we've lost this year and gone to university, and the second team has been stretched a little bit, but obviously because that's the first team have used so many players now, that'll benefit us in the long run.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of younger lads playing second team this week, but we're stretched at the minute, but being stretched and still winning and being where we are, it's not a bad thing.
Exactly, we got 5 points out of that game.
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow did we deserve it? Of course we deserve it, because we scored the 4 tries.
I do honestly think we did deserve it. It was probably a game of 240 minutes, the first 20 and the last 20 for us in the middle 40. I just think we weren't very clinical.
Yeah.
We played their game. We probably had more possession in the game than they did, but we didn't do enough with it.
Yeah. I just think we have this mentality of, for whatever reason this season, we don't seem to know how to lose.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, Saturday was the first time where I felt a bit of panic.
Yeah.
There was 20 minutes left and everyone was flying around. I'm thinking, just calm down. We've got.
I think we were 10 points down as well.
We were 10 points down. I was going, it's only a couple of scores. Relax, we'll get there in the end. We did, but it was the first time we had a bit of panic. I don't think we needed to, and that showed in the way we played, our skill level, the drop balls, and just lacking a bit of composure.
Yeah, well, you brought Joe on in the second half. He scored a nice try, kick through, and it was out wide. No disrespect to yourself, you'd already missed 3 kicks.
Yeah.
How did you feel marking that one up, knowing realistically this could be sort of like the winner, the winner rather than us drawing the game?
I don't really think of anything really. I think went through my mind saying, you know, it's a big kick, but you don't really think about that when you just get it done at the side down. I'd missed 3 earlier, all pretty much the same position.
They were as well, yeah.
They were all out wide. It was a breezy day. It was quite strong. The one before just dropped short, so I knew I had it in me just to get the right connection. I was doing my job. It's my job.
So that's it. There was actually no thought. I mean, I can win this for the lads, or
you know. That's the last thing I think. I think as a sort of a game management, as a 10, you just got to think about everybody else. It's never been about me, and the kick was just a part of me doing my job, same as a hooker doing his line-out throws, or a 9 hitting his pass every time, or back row doing a breakdown specialist, or whatever you want to call it. It's just me doing my job.
Right, changing the subject a little bit, we've gone to the seconds, who had a really tough day at the office against Wharfdale Seconds.
Yeah.
We've already touched on it, that they were a bit short. They didn't really have a second row, you know. I mean,
no, it's an area where we've sort of probably struggled a little bit. We've lost a couple from last year, whether it be university or people moving away. And we've had sort of 1 missing from the first team. We've had 3 this week. They've just lacked a little bit this year. It's been a lot. Last year was a very settled first team and second team. It was good for that season, but this year we've had a lot of changes. A lot of people have moved in about, and there's bound to be a bit of disruption, and you're going to struggle slightly. And let's not forget the games I've lost: Harrogate away, Mowden Park, and Wharfdale. Bad sides to lose.
No,
you know what I mean?
You're right, yeah.
And you think we played Wharfdale, who were league above us, and we had 5 Colts playing, and 2 of them were front row. 2 18-year-olds.
Well, I was going to touch on that one. Young Dylan Penny got man of the match.
Yeah,
you know, which is
second game,
fantastic.
Outstanding against some experienced players. But again, he wasn't the only one. There was other lads who played really well. Not to mention some of the senior boys. You know, Adam Gardner had a good game. Dano made a bit of a comeback off the bench. He's still waiting to hear back from the hospital, but he's willing to play because we need 9s, we need 10s. He stepped up. Same as I said about Sam, he was only at like 50-60% fit. He still played because he wants to play. So the lads are feeling it a little bit. I dare say we've got a stronger squad this week. We've got a few players back for Anik, for both teams. You know, they're struggling a little bit, but we'll get through it, and the event will make us stronger.
Are we? Is that for the first and second as well? Are we?
Well, we're just
waiting
to see back off a few people, but we might have a couple of returns this week. We might change things up a little bit, but second team we've definitely got a few players back available.
Excellent. Right, touching on the game of the day for me, like the thirds.
Yeah.
Playing Stockton and sort of revenging the opening day of the season.
Yeah. I think that. I said all the way through when we had these interviews that it's probably the best thing that happened was them losing that first game of the season by that many points. They've had so many years of dominating teams in the Social League and then the Tees Valley League or whatever it was, and then they moved up to the Candy League when people said it's probably a step too far, and now the top of the league after getting the pace in the first week of the season. It just shows what the squad they had was the same squad they had the first game of the season. Now whether other people have lost players and injured or whatever, but these guys have improved and they've stuck together and came through, which is the best part about it. They're enjoying having competitive games and they've still kept their numbers up. Now it shows first team are doing so well, but it has a little knock-on effect on the second team, but the third team is still flying. So it just shows that we do have 3 very, very competitive squads as well as a really good Colts team.
Right, thank you very much, Peter. All the best for Saturday.